everyone. Today is May the 7th, 2022. This is Wes Fryer, and I am going to cook my favorite thing besides just eating regular brisket, my favorite food to have with leftover brisket, and that is brisket jalapeno poppers. So I'll kind of pan across here and kind of show you my whole set of ingredients: onions, seasoning, garlic, of course, cream cheese, cheddar cheese, brisket, what I'm going to do is just kind of go through and turn my supplies, and then I'll go ahead and prepare this, and we'll just see. I may speed up some of this to not make this too boring, but I've done poppers a lot of different ways, and what I found is doing poppers this way, where we're going to cut them in half. And we're not going to wrap them in bacon, but we're just going to stuff them with the wonderful brisket infused cheese concoction. Is just going to taste amazing, and it's also not going to surprise anybody by having, you know, some unremoved stem portions of the pepper, which are going to, you know, make it a little too hot. So I love jalapeno poppers, but I don't like them to be, you know, blow your head off hot. So let's go through the supplies. I'm going to include these in the show notes below. I'm also going to put this recipe on my food blog, recipe blog, which is food.wesfryer.com. And you can follow me as Cook with Wes on multiple platforms now, including TikTok. So step number one, we're going to have our skillet, and I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable oil. I'm going to chop up some onions, and I'm going to get those nicely caramelized, and then I'm going to add leftover brisket. So I cooked this brisket overnight, actually Thursday night, so we could have it last night on Friday. And I like to use the moister meat, the point meat that has a little bit more of the fat in it, the intermuscular fat. And so I'm going to put this in with my sauteed onions, and so that'll be nice and warm. And then the most time-consuming part of this is definitely preparing the jalapenos. I like to get large jalapenos. I've gotten them from Sprouts, has pretty good ones. Walmart's okay, sometimes not quite as great. I find you don't want to leave these in your refrigerator a super long time because it just gets spicier. When I do them like with wrapped bacon, the problem is I can't always get in the stem part out of the tip, and apparently, you know, the seeds in the stem inside are the, I don't know if that's called the stem actually, whatever the stuff is that you hollow out, that's the part that can be spicier. One of the key tools, this is my boning knife that I love, which is actually not that expensive of one. This is a Victorinox. I got it at Sur de la Table. I think it was a Christmas present for my daughter. Anyway, I love this. I use this boning knife all the time now with chicken and like this, to, you know, this is just cutting off the ends. But actually the key is to have a thinner jalapeno knife. This is concave or whatever, it's curved. I picked this one up at Hasty Bake up in Tulsa, and so I don't know, because it doesn't actually say what the brand of this is. My mom has one that's a little bit thinner. This one can be a little bit thick, so it has a serrated edge on the side, but then it has these raised cutouts, I guess, here in the middle. And this would be even better. Well, what I do is I'll hollow this out. I'll show you this in a minute. And then I go ahead and cut it in half. So anyway, this is really key to be able to easily take out as much of the insides of the jalapeno as you want. I love garlic, and so actually I just went ahead and splurged for this, or whatever. This wasn't this expensive, it was like 10 bucks. I got this at Costco, but I like to get granulated garlic. I've used fresh garlic that you chop. For me, that's just a little bit too, I don't know. I don't know. I would saute that if I, you know, if I was going to use fresh garlic. But I think that regular minced garlic, like you get in a jar, works great. I've also used dry granulated garlic, and that works fine too. But I definitely like the taste of garlic. So we're going to be using cream cheese, and this is a splurge on the health and wellness diet which we were on, so this is not like a on-plan meal. However, I am using the third less fat cream cheese, so that makes it a little bit healthier. And then I'll put a couple cheeses in. I'm going to use this triple cheddar cheese and then just regular sharp cheddar. Mainly I like sharp cheddar together with the cream cheese. All right, so important, we're going to we're going to soften the cream cheese in this, what is this, 2-quart glass microwavable measuring cup. I love to use this, and so we'll put this in, and then once we get the onions and the brisket, you know, nice and warmed up and everything like that, we'll put that in, and that'll help everything melt and be nice and soft. Really, the only other supplies, I really like to just cook this on a metal smoking pan, and so I have a couple of these. This one is a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to do quite a few. So anyway, I'm going to do both of them, but this is really handy. Keeps the smoker clean. It's really easy in and out. It's also fast to get them in and out. You're not having to individually, you know, put them on. And then I just like to use some pliers to get these in and out of the smoker. So I've got my smoker preheating. I guess one other thing I'd say is I don't shop at Aldi a lot, but I've actually found that these prepackaged jalapenos at Aldi are really good quality. And one of the great things about jalapenos are they're really inexpensive. So I have made these with pulled pork, but I like brisket the best if I have it. And so one of the things I might actually do with some of my leftover brisket is put it in a freezer bag and put it in the freezer, and then I'll be able to pull it out later to, you know, just make these jalapeno poppers. So with all of that explanation about supplies, of course I have my Rectech smoker preheating. I've cooked these at 350 before for about 15 minutes. I think I'm gonna want them a little bit crispier, and so I'm going at 400 degrees for 20 minutes today. But you know, everything is cooked already. You're just warming it up, and it's just a matter of how soft that you want to get the pepper and everything. So with that said, and I think I'll probably speed this up to a little music. Let's get going with this preparation process. All right, so that was definitely the most time-consuming part of the whole thing. I mean, stuffing them is too, but hopefully you could see in that time lapse how key this jalapeno core knife is. It does a pretty good job of getting these out. You can see that on the ones that are a little bit smaller, it has a little bit of a tougher time. So I didn't need to cook this brisket, you know, much more because it is fully cooked. But I just basically wanted to warm it up. And so what I have done now is I put my cream cheese here into the microwave, got 50% power for 1.5 minutes. So now I'm ready to mix my ingredients. All right, so I will try and guesstimate as best I can. I'm using 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese on the brisket that I put in. I don't know, that's maybe about a cup or 1.5 cups of brisket. I'm gonna put in 8 ounces of cheddar. I probably could put in, that's probably gonna be actually good. I thought I was gonna need more, but I don't know, we'll see. This is a triple cheddar, so regular, just plain sharp cheddar is fine. I'm going to I like garlic. So I'm gonna put in like 3 heaping tablespoons of minced garlic. Man, maybe that's too much, who knows? I love garlic. And then, dun, 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 this is gonna be the amazing, what do you think? Can you smell it? This is the amazing part. This is the brisket with my very well sauteed and caramelized onions. And so I've got everything in here except the seasoning before I put this stuff in to warm up. Okay, and now, ta-da! Secret ingredient. This is the Meat Church Gospel Barbecue Rub. I'm actually gonna, how much am I gonna put in? I don't know. I'm gonna put in probably about 3 tablespoons worth. I'll taste it here in a little bit. This is kind of hard to find right now in Oklahoma City. I would usually get some at the True Value hardware store that carries barbecue stuff, but they've had trouble getting it in. And then the Champions Barbecue Supply, which is based out of Amarillo and is the biggest barbecue place we have. I go down to Texas. I was just actually, we were down in Allen, Texas, down in the Dallas area, and I went to Buc-ee's. And so if you go to Buc-ee's, you can find it. But that rub is fantastic. Okay, so now I'm just mixing this all up. And Moose. Hey, Moose, it's okay. So I'm just gonna try and well, maybe I should speed this part up. Let me time lapse. All right, there we go. So now, is this ready to eat? Or, well, yeah, it is actually. Is it ready to stuff? Probably, but let's give it a taste here and see. Wow, that's pretty freaking amazing. I'm gonna put a little bit more of the rub on it. Man, and I'll include in the links to this video the Meat Church, Matt, who does Meat Church. He has a video for making poppers that he's inspired me with, and I'll include that as well, so you can check that out. Okay, basically I just I just stirred this so that we don't have any like solid white parts. Everything is pretty well mixed. I don't know, I think I'm gonna put just a little bit more of the cheddar in here too. So we used about 8 ounces, so I don't know, maybe we're gonna be putting about 10 to 12 ounces total. I like the finely grated just because it will mix a little bit better in here. I like to, like I'm demonstrating, heat up my onions and my brisket so that they're all nice and hot as they go into this already softened cream cheese. And then just makes a really nice concoction here that mixes up really well. All right, let's give this a taste. Of course, this is just amazing to eat by itself. Okay, that tastes fantastic. So, what I'm ready to do now is, I'm not gonna make that too hot. I'm ready to stuff these. So I'm gonna show one of these, I guess, slow, and I'll speed the rest up. Because you don't wanna sit here and watch me do, 20 of these. What I'm gonna do, clean off my knife, is I'm gonna go ahead and half these. Well, first off, I have stuffed these before. I just use like a teaspoon to put these in, which I'm gonna need to get a spoon. Hey, Moose. And then wrap them in bacon. That is really good. But see this little part right down here at the bottom? And maybe that's not gonna be a big deal for many people. This one's a little bit more. If I don't get that out, even though this knife is awesome, okay, I missed that. And so what I've found is, if I don't cut these in half, a lot of times I miss that, and it makes that bite on the tip really a hot bite, hotter than you want. So I am now ready to stuff these, and I'm just going to ladle my lovely soft cream cheese, and brisket concoction. Okay, I'm just doing that. And then I'm gonna lay this here on my tray. This is why I got so many. Usually when I make this, I have a bunch of filling left over, and then I have enough to make some the next day. I got a few more poppers than I usually will make at one time. I think I'm gonna give these as a gift tonight to a friend who we're going over to his house. So anyway, that's it. Dun, da, da. Does that look good? Well, it's gonna look even better when it's been on the smoker for 20 minutes. Okay, time lapse again. All right, so it's been 15 minutes, and look at that. Would these cook longer? Yeah, they could, but I think we're gonna be great. Like I said, I've done them at 350 instead of doing them at 400 for like 20 minutes, even 30 minutes, and that's okay. I do like using using some pliers here to be able to bring that in. So, all right, time to bring them in. Okay, it is the time of truth. How will it taste? We've let these cool down for about 5 minutes. Wow, it's so savory. I don't know if a popper can be any better than that.